Hello everybody and welcome to Snakes on the Plains. Today I'm going to just give you a little bit of an update video on our African imports. Unfortunately there's just one of them, which is female too, if any of you have been curious and following along which animal is which, that I will not be able to show you as she has only eaten for us twice and just ate for the second time yesterday, so I'm not going to bug her. Everybody else is eating amazing. They are the slamming rat pups now, getting up in grams like crazy. So actually what I'm doing is I'm taking all of them, putting them for the first time now on aspen bedding, and getting an updated weight on them. So I haven't seen any mites, haven't had any sort of parasites or anything, in case you guys are curious and would like to see one or get one possibly in the future. Of course I haven't made a decision on which ones we are keeping yet, but they all will be checked for worms and any other kind of parasites by a vet before we decide to sell them. I'm going to try to do this in our handy dandy light box here. We'll see how this works out. So first off, one I'm going to show you is the very first male that we picked out, so I call him male 1. And he is pretty basic looking, pretty normal looking, pretty classic, and I really like it. He has just a little bit of flames, and he does have some whites. Excuse my phone there. Some whites along the bottom, which I think are really neat. He's got nice blushing along the dorsal. Not anything crazy though, not anything outrageous. And then the stomach wise, it's pretty normal stomach. I do think it's interesting. I'm going to try to get him to calm down. He is a little bit of a runner, but his tummy starts off pretty clean at the top and then gets messier down towards the bottom. So that's pretty neat. He's trying to use the camera as something to perch on. But yeah, I like his pattern. I like how much white there is on the sides of his alien heads. I think that is something that's pretty unique and very, very just handsome looking, honestly. And the top of his head, nice and red. Definitely not anything I think I would call home about, but this is a very nice normal. He most likely will be up for grabs, and his eyes are green. Just one of the few animals that we actually have whose eye color is different than the normal sort of dark brown, blackish color. But he is, again, I think a very handsome normal. And something I want to add is that all of these babies are going to be needing a name. That's just how we keep track of our animals. Some people keep track of them by, let's just say, serial numbers, and I like to keep track of them by how, by like giving names and whatnot. And let me turn down this. There we go. That's a little better looking, huh? And so we use their names to code names to keep track of each animal, and in case anybody has any questions with us, they get the Google Doc with all that information, and then I can go back and see on our saved Google Doc about the animal too. But here you can see a large portion of blushing right there along his dorsal. I really think that that's quite nice looking. And then along right here as well. And then those whites along his side. Very nice, and I'm probably going to make this video way too long because I love talking about them too much. His dorsal is nice and spotted, which is just awesome, and hopefully I'm not going to make you sick with my terrible camera acting. And other than that, I think I'm going to get him put in his new cage and not stress him out too much. And hopefully he will grow up big and strong, and I'm assuming, again, that this guy will be available for grabs in about September. But we'll just have to see what happens. Nothing for sure. I'm not going to say anything for sure until we get there. Awesome. Alright, now moving on to the second one. I totally forgot to say that these guys are probably around, not probably they are around 120, 110 grams. This next one is also a male. He is the fourth male we pulled out, so male 4. And I think he's a little different looking. Most people have told me I'm crazy, so I probably am. I just really like him. Something about him catches my eye, and I wish that he was a female, because if I can't convince certain people that I may live with that he's something different, then I don't know if we should or can keep him just with room and space and everything. That's always a pain when we don't have enough room. But I mean, look at that pattern. And he's like, I'm trying to get the right color. He's like golden. Ah, I love him. I love him so much. You're amazing looking. Oh, I got too close to the camera, sorry. And then his belly is kind of tracks, but I'd say it's basically normal. It's just too close, in my opinion, to the center of the belly to really call it tracks. Like sort of gravel yellow belly wise, but I really like how he looks. I do. Just the colors and the banding, gosh, I don't know. There's just something different I see. And you know what? I'm probably just crazy, and you guys are like, Mackenzie, that's a normal. What are you talking about? And maybe it is. Maybe he's just really pretty normal. But I love this dude so much. And again, he needs a name. So if any of you guys want to give a name in the comments below, just tell me which snake it is. You know, like I just said, this one's male 4. Give me a name, and then on our Facebook, if you guys follow our page, we will eventually get a name suggestion group going. And if you give me a name on this video, you don't need to suggest it again, because I will put it in the sort of, I guess you could say, quiz. It's just like a little voting software that I use, and then everybody votes on the name that they like, and the one with the most votes, of course, by the end of a couple days gets the name. So we already have, I think, is it 2 or 3? I'll have to say. I think only 2 of these guys are named so far. It's okay, little guy, you're not gonna fall. He's pretty fearful, and he's trying to shoot out right away. Turn down the aperture here so you guys can see him a little better. There we go, and he's just, yes, I love him. He's awesome. I'm really hoping that he kind of turns or catches our eye in a couple months here when we continue to keep him. Maybe something changes or doesn't change, which is sometimes what you're looking for. Just a stunning animal right now, in my opinion. But we're going to be getting him back. We're going to be getting him weighed, and we'll go and grab the next animal. Okie dokie. Next on the list is male 6. I know I'm kind of jumping around here, but this is the 6th male that we pulled out of the bag. He has a very sort of like, let me scoot up, okay, granity kind of looking pattern. As you can see, he has the yellow belly tracks on his belly, as well as some nice track marks on the tail all the way. I mean, this guy's pretty set with those. Very shy dude. It's okay, mister. He's got some nice speckling in the alien heads. A very nice orange color. You can kind of see it when I do that. Not really any flaming though, so I have no idea if this guy would be considered actual granite, but to me that's what it sort of seems like, just no flaming. So he is something different. That belly definitely points to that, but is he genetic? Won't know until we try. So I'm assuming that this one as well will be up for grabs in a couple months, but we will definitely have to see, of course, just like with anything, see if anything changes. If something doesn't change again, just really depends on the snake and what happens. But yeah, this guy is very handsome. Gonna put him down, get a better look at him down here. There we go. But yeah, beautiful color on this guy. A more orange kind of normal, I guess you could say. Oh, you're all right. It's okay, mister. And he's just sort of one of my favorites. Definitely has some nice blushing going on the dorsal, but again, in my opinion, I wouldn't say that you have something here that you could bank on, but he definitely has something different going on compared to the others, which just seem to be more normal. This is the first one that I've shown that I feel like might be something genetic. Whether that be something new or not, who knows. I know that yellow bellies get pulled out of the wild, I wouldn't say often, but it's definitely not unheard of. Not saying that he's yellow belly, I'm just saying that you can find genes in the wild that already exist in the hobby. And he's definitely a lot more orange than what's picking up on the camera, especially towards the tail end, just like most baby ball pythons. I just can't get the colors and play with them in a video like I can on photos and stuff to make sure that the snake actually looks like what it looks like here. But there are photos of all these guys on our Facebook page if you're curious of what his orangey color kind of looks like. But yes, he's growing very well, big old fat boy, and hopefully he'll find a nice fun home here, just be a couple months. So yeah, if you guys have a name for this guy, please make sure to leave it in the comments, and on to the next one. Alright everyone, so next up on our list is male 3. He is something else, let me tell you, a little firecracker. I just wanted to show you what I normally do with animals that have a bit of a defensive nature, like this man. So I just take a hook, and a lot of people say, why the heck are you using a hook with ball python? Well, I don't like getting bit. I don't like my animals losing teeth. They do that anyways during eating, I understand that. But this is just how I do it, so I just give him a little tiny boop on the head, and you can see he's defensive now. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to get bit. I mean, if I get bit, I get bit. But this is just me trying to teach him, like, hey, this sort of touch stimulus, this sort of stress that you're feeling isn't going to hurt you. This stress is an okay stress, and it doesn't mean that you're going to be harmed. So that's why I believe in doing that. Other people will tell you other things, and that's fine. I really liked this guy. He's the one that I pulled out that I was like, whoa, check him out. He has this amazing orange color, reddish orange color that's not coming through right now. He's much more red than what's showing up, and I thought it would just go away. He started looking really brown, and my dumb self was like, oh no, he's browning out already. No, he's going into shed, and he's just as red as ever. I kind of doubt that we will be keeping him though, just because I think that I have a different male that I would really like to be keeping that I'll be showing you here in a bit. But this is, oh, you're okay. This is male 3, and he needs a name as well, so please drop those name suggestions now. You're alright. If I get bit, I will jump. I'm sorry, but that's just what happens. Here's the belly. It's nice and white and beautiful. He's just wiggle worming around. You're alright. Come here. There you go. See? And I really like his pattern. It has a lot of elongated alien heads horizontally, which is seen, but I feel like he has a few more of them than normals, I guess you could say. His back is pretty dark, definitely not something that I think is just unheard of looking, but I do believe that this animal is special. And that might just be because, again, you have to remember each one of these animals that's coming from Africa is more diverse than entire collections, most entire collections. And the reason for that is these animals come from where they were born, where the actual species came from, and that means that there's going to be a lot more genetics floating around there than just in someone's collection or in most collections. Because think about it. You got one morph that somebody really liked, and then after that, you're alright. After that, someone just took that morph, that lineage, and kept breeding it and breeding it and breeding it. And so all the bananas are most likely related. All of the hurricanes are related. And so that's where you can start running into issues after a while because you don't have enough genetic diversity. And no, it's not like a huge problem with reptiles, but as someone myself that has done a lot of work in conservation biology and wildlife and fun stuff like that, I believe that genetic diversity is essential to a healthy collection. Another thing I want to hit on really quick before getting to the next one is that I mentioned the mites. We found black specks on them after we bathed them in our original video, but I did not see anything that looked like a mite. I brought it to a friend who is getting his degree in parasitology centering around reptiles and amphibians, and he said, nope, that's just dirt. So we never did find any mites on them. We still quarantined them, of course, and they're still in quarantine until September. And today is the first day that we're taking away the paper towels because we never saw a single mite on the paper towels. However, I am continuing to treat them for mites, probably for another 2 to 4 weeks. But anyways, this very crabby, awesome boy needs a name. And again, I wish it was showing up just how red he is. Go look at the photos on my Facebook page because he gets showed off there pretty well. His pictures are just awesome. So anyways, let's move on to the next one. Alright, the next guy I got for you is our male 2. Second male we pulled out of the bag. He was in shed. And something just seemed weird about him. I just thought he looked a little different. His pattern didn't look that strange to me. It was just, I don't know, something was off about him. And then he shed. And then he shed again. And he kept this color that I'm going to show you guys that I hope shows up. And it's just beautiful. Green, olive green color. I don't know what it is. I really hope he keeps it. If he's keeping it this well in September, I definitely will have to keep this guy back because, yeah, there's light normals, but it's not showing up just as great. He kind of looks just a little yellow on here, but he's green. Not like green, like a yellow, darker yellow olive green, you know? Beautiful, beautiful snake. Again, he has the whites up and around his alien heads. Kind of reminded me of Russo. With the lighter snake as well. He's just got the normal belly pattern going on here. A little bit of funky pattern and a very, I don't know, a very sort of blockish pattern. Predictable, I guess I would say. And then these little dots in his dorsal stripe remind me a lot of the hurricane dorsal stripe. The Blitz dorsal stripe will actually blow out and curl, but as far as hurricane goes, it gets these dorsal stripes, and so that of course was neat to see in a wild caught. And again, you just got to remember that these animals might just look a little different just because they have more genetic diversity in them, so that's always a chance with these guys. But I don't know. I mean, you see, it's just like the same alien head shape. I mean, yeah, it has different insides, but the same alien head shape all around. Very, very, very nice. Oh gosh, you gotta poop, don't you? But I do enjoy this guy a lot. Let's put him down and get the aperture correct for you guys. Alright, there we go, and here he is. What a studly man, right? Kind of jumpy, but I think he's doing very well for himself. Eating great. He doesn't have one of the best eating responses, but he's always eating for us. I just think that there's something kind of different about him. I mean, he's green. So hopefully in a couple of months he'll keep this color. If so, he's definitely going to be a keeper. If not, this guy will be up for grabs. So please drop some name suggestions for male 2, and we're going to get his cage cleaned and see how he reacts to aspen bedding for the first time. Alright everyone, that is halfway done right there with the African imports. At this time, I just want to tell everybody a little bit of a special announcement. On Thursday or Wednesday of this upcoming week, there will be something extremely exciting. I am not going to give any hints or anything except for I believe I will be posting a photo very soon on our Facebook, Instagram, and for those of you who know us, I think it'll be a pretty clear hint at what we're getting. I can't even believe it. Dream come true, honestly. So that is probably the biggest, most exciting thing that has ever happened to snakes on the plane to date. So that'll be coming soon. So thank you for sticking through halfway. And then let's get this guy out right now. This is probably, this might be tied for my favorite African import. This is male 5, I believe. Yes, male 5. And he is a sexy something rather. I mean, holy cow. Are you seeing these flames and these white splotches throughout his body? His tail is orange with a ringer. Just gorgeous. The ringer actually goes under his belly, and I'll show you that in a minute. A nice tail stripe, cute. That dorsal is blushed out as can be, and you'll see that when I set him down. Let's get a look at the other side. I know, mister, I'm sorry. Here we go. And those alien heads, look how strange they are. I am very excited about this guy. And this is gonna probably like decredit me a little bit. I looked at this guy in shed because he was in shed when we got him. I looked at this portion of his tail right here. I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty neat. And people were like, wow, that's a cool snake on Facebook, commenting on this one specifically. And I was like, yeah, he's all right. And then he shed, and I was like, oh crap. I didn't even give him the time of day just because in shed he wasn't orange. I couldn't see any of his highlights. I didn't really even take the time to look at him. I was just looking at the other snakes that I could see, you know, just kind of something in, and I felt terrible. So we're keeping this guy no matter what. He needs a name, a forever name for us. He hasn't gotten one yet, and so please drop a name right now for, there you go, for male 5. So now that he's down, you can just see all the different colors along his dorsal, especially. Those are some crazy colors. The blushing is just crazy. Let me bring him over here before the camera corrects itself. Look at that on his dorsal. The whites going up his alien heads. Insane, insane, insane. I love it so much. And he's a very pretty orangish yellow. Now the thing about baby normals is they tend to be more orange and then actually get brown as adults. He is just, I don't know, he almost looks like this from here back is a different color. It almost looks sort of hypo-ish. If I could bring his little butt over and get him to scooch up here for a second. He's not shy, so he doesn't like to ball up like my other ball pythons. But you can see about halfway, or about 2/3 of the way down, his color changes to this sort of muted color, and the alien heads, or not the alien heads, the dorsal striping in between those, the dorsal dots, the orange dots on his back, have very intense blushing, again 2/3 down his body where that begins. I don't know what this is. I asked around to see if it was a gene already, and everybody just said no, that's just a really great looking, you know, normal right now because it hasn't been proven a gene. I'm really hoping that he proves out to be something, because my goodness, he's a pretty baby. I mean, pretty baby. And I just remembered that I didn't show you his belly, so we're gonna do that right now. Alright, so belly, this is what I love. I love clean bellies. Right here, this orange, you can kind of see on the side, goes all the way across the tummy right there, and that's why I think he has like a ringer. I always thought ringers were white, but that one is orange, so that's strange. And again, oh my gosh, it's just a clean belly, as beautiful as can be. The sides of his tail are just gorgeous. You're a pretty snake, man. You know that? Very pretty snake. He's like, yeah, I know, thanks. So he's gonna get on aspen bedding now for the first time, and hopefully he doesn't freak out and he loves it, because usually when ball pythons are introduced to something new, they freak out, but that's okay. He'll get used to it. They're a very adaptable species. Gotta love them. So thank you guys, and we're gonna be moving on to the next one here shortly. Okay, well, moving on to females now. I don't know what it was, but we kind of lucked out with the females. Every single one of them we're keeping, I think. Again, all of this is just kind of sort of I think sort of thing until September rolls around and we know for sure. And I forgot to mention, all of their photos are also up on our website, so please check out the link in the description. It would probably be easier than surfing through my entire Facebook to find photos of each snake if you are interested. So this female is female 3, and all these guys just shed, which is the reason that I'm doing this video, because I want to get them right after their shed. And this is the first time that she shed with us, but the second time that a snake like her has shed with us. And what I mean is they're very orange. In the photos on our website, you can see that they're extremely orange. And after they shed, kind of like my pastels, they're almost washed out. So she isn't as orange as she normally is, which is very strange because it's usually the other way around. And she got actually darker and darker, and not darker, deeper and deeper orange until she shed. And once she shed, she was just this beautiful orangish color. But here she is. And oh, I mean, look at that snake. There we go, it focused. I really love the flaming, the blushing along the top here. This female 3 is my fiance's favorite. She likes to do this thing where she flops her belly over all the time. She just did that right in my hands. Nice clean belly, no tracks, no anything like that, which is strange because she has, I don't know, somebody that I know knows Orange Dream markers and told us them for a different female, and one of them is the white around the alien heads like this, which this female has, but she doesn't have any track marks, which Orange Dream usually has track marks, and the other female has track marks but doesn't have any or white around the oranges or around the alien heads, which is just so funny. They're opposites. Again, nice flaming throughout the blacks right here, fades out about right here, but then you get some more blushing along the dorsal. A nice array of colors through the body right here, and again just a very orange snake. It's not quite coming through as intense as she is right now, but she is a very nice orange color. I'm gonna set, actually let's get a look at her head here. You're okay, Missy. There we go. The banding on her is nice and thin, if you guys notice, which I like a lot, and the alien heads are quite elongated. Nice black back as well, broken up in a couple places, but nothing like you normally see. Some strange floating patterns and a nice little dot on the back of her head there, very unique, and a little bit of a blushed out head. You can see right about there just how blushed out it is. She has glowing green eyes that are not really coming up right here, but if you go to our website, one of the main photos on the main page that you can scroll through is a close-up of this girl's eye, just because of how green they are. So let's get her down here and darken this up just a little bit. Of course, this light box won't be a forever thing. It's great for taking photos and not so much for doing videos, but unfortunately the house that we're living in right now does not have great lighting. However, we did just buy a house, hip hip hooray, so I will definitely be setting up an area for videos specifically that will have great lighting for these guys. But here she is, and that head is just orange, 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 beautifully blushed out. The dorsal is just so nice on this snake. I just try not to look at them too much because I just love going in there and peeking open their tubs and just getting a nice little look at them. They're probably just so sick of me. But yeah, she's definitely going to be, most likely I should say, going to be one of our keepers. Just because how much my fiance loves her. However, in my opinion, the next female I'm going to show you has a bit more potential. But again, that's just my opinion. We will not have any, we won't know for sure until we breed them. So let's get to her. Alright, and I forgot to mention, please go ahead and drop name suggestions for female 3. However, like I said, that is my fiance's favorite snake. He may end up wanting to name her, so just in case you guys know, so you're not disappointed, he might just do that. But let's move on to this other orange girl. And again, it's just so strange. There's such muted colors right now, and as they begin to get out of their fresh shed, sort of sheen and shiny color, they get this dark orange. It's just beautiful. So this is female 4, which I have dubbed Raptor. Definitely my favorite. I mean, there's something going on there. Look at that black back. Look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. Couple spots, but like nothing crazy. And again, a strange little dorsal break at the very front of the head, just like the other one. The same blushing going on in the same area that's orange, just right on top of the noggin there. And then this is what did it for me. I mean, check that belly out. Holy Cajun guacamole. That goes almost all the way up and all the way down. Those tracks are insane. And these colors, I wish you guys could see them. They are just so beautiful when she's kind of a little deeper into her colors and her shed here, which is just so strange again. And she's definitely kept it at least through one of her sheds. I've seen the cycle now. We're definitely gonna have to see if that continues. And I love how the alien heads just kind of start melting towards the tail. The other end is a little bit more extreme than that. But, oh, she's just gorgeous. I haven't actually taken a close look at her eyes. They seem like sort of a silvery color, which is pretty normal. But I don't think that there's too much else normal about this girl. We're definitely going to be proving her out. I have had somebody in my local area contact me and say, hey, I want to come check out that female, or if I can, I would keep her and breed her to an orange dream because she reminds me of an orange dream. So we'll have to see, but as you guys can look right there along her alien head, she doesn't really have any white going up the sides of them. So maybe just a different line, maybe something different. Who really knows? I just really like this girl. She's growing up really well. Definitely one of our most aggressive feeders. She's fun. She eats off the tongs already, so hopefully I'll be converting her to frozen thawed very soon. Just having a great time with her. And I've also talked to other people who have done the same thing that we did, but years ago, and said that all of their orange babies eventually browned out. But I think there's a little bit more going on with this girl than just the coloration. Of course, there's the belly, and the back just sticks out to me. And again, you can just see how uniform each one of the alien heads is. Of course, there's some discrepancies, but they basically have the same looking alien heads, which is strange to me anyways. And so now we're just gonna put her down and get you guys a little look at her down here. There we go. She's just a nice, pretty, sexy snake. I really am enjoying her colors, and I took a photo of her right before she shed, and that is on our website. And let me tell you what, those oranges are incredible. I did amp up the colors a teeny bit, and that's just because what I do when I edit my photos is I have the snake in one hand while I'm editing the photo, and then I have the photo obviously up. I edit one of them to make it look exactly almost as perfect as I can, because in this light box I was having a little bit of discrepancies. You can just see how white my skin is. I promise you I'm a little bit more tan than that. It does just kind of dull things down in the light box, but within, like, if any of you guys actually do editing, it was like 2 points of saturation, which is nothing, really. She was back up to where she normally is. So very minimal editing, if any of you guys are curious. Back up a little bit, sweetheart. There you go. And yeah, she's just absolutely perfect. I really like this girl. Compared to next one that's also named, it's the first and the only ones that are named so far. She is angry as can be. And we're gonna get her out now. But yeah, everybody, this is Raptor, and hopefully you guys will be seeing some cool stuff from her in the future. Alright, so now we're taking out the very first snake that we actually, or the very first female that we actually unboxed from Africa. I'm just going to be completely transparent. I do not know what classic jungle looks like, and for those of you who don't know, classic jungle is basically a non-inheritable normal that just looks different, sort of like different looking pattern, melty maybe, or just odd in general. different colors, and it's just not genetic. And that's kind of what I thought maybe she was. She has a deformed jaw. It's sort of more angular than it should be, wider almost in the back than it should be, and she doesn't have any trouble eating. She's actually eaten the most for us. She's very food aggressive, very defensive, and seems to be doing and thriving very well. She actually got to the point where I had to stop and skip a meal for her because her body was so tiny. She was just a teeny tiny little baby, might not have absorbed her yolk kind of looking thing, and she ate so well, and I wasn't expecting her to eat at all, that her skin was getting way too tight on her little body. So I held off on one meal. Sure enough, she went into shed. She shed and she's back eating again. Just boom, boom, boom. So we did actually hold a naming, voting naming for this girl on our Facebook, and everybody voted for Nadia. I think it's very fitting. She's a very angry Russian African import that just likes to pop me all the time. So if I jump, please excuse me. I promise you I'm not afraid of the snakes, but I'm just jumpy. I can't even feed them without jumping around. But again, I thought that maybe she was classic just because of this very strange pattern. And so I asked a guy that I saw had posted something jungle, and he said, no, that's not classic jungle. And I said, oh, okay. And then I asked on a Facebook group, like, hey, anybody have any photos of classic jungle? Here's a snake that I got from Africa, just a little different. Possibly does it have classic jungle? And nobody really responded to me, but someone PM'd me, and he said, hey, your snake doesn't look like a classic jungle. It looks more like a different gene, possibly. So that got me really excited that a couple breeders have now told me that, hey, no, that doesn't look like classic jungle to me. Obviously, we won't know, of course, until we breed her, but just look at that pattern. It's all wonked out like crazy. The dorsal pattern right there in the middle is just insane. Along the edges, it's just not what you expect a normal to look like. Look at this. I don't even know how to explain that. Just sheer chaos, basically. Oh, you're okay, girl. She's like, I don't want to be touched. Right along here is probably my favorite. And then, oh, you're all right. She is very stressed, so oh, okay, there you go. I just don't want her to hurt herself, as she already has a little bit of a, I don't want to say a disability, but an issue with her mouth. And then on her belly, there you go. It's pretty clean. And then you come down here to some tracks on her tail, which I like very much. And there's a look at her head, if I can get it to focus without her moving. There we go. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but it is just a little strangely shaped. But again, she doesn't have any issues eating. Best eater that we have. And she's actually, this is the first time that she hasn't popped me. And now I probably just jinxed it. But yeah, no, she's doing great. Eating like a champ, acting like a champ. She just does this right here where she freezes and gets absolutely stiff and won't move for several minutes. So the way I've learned to fix it is, again, Python C, your heat signature. So I use something that doesn't have a warm heat signature that she's not going to most likely view as a threat, and just kind of move her like that. And now she should start moving around just like normal. You can see the dorsal has several odd things with it, holes, banding. The only part that's really normal is this portion down here, and even then that's not too normal. Let's see if I can move her without her tensing up again. Good girl. Right there on the back of her neck is probably my favorite. It looks like a little face looking back at you, which is great. Just perfect. She does have some issues with the back of her head. You can possibly see that when she turns her head, there's a bunch of skin that will kind of wrinkle up, and that's not seen in any of the other snakes. I just think that's because she has some deformed shape of her head issues. It's kind of hard to see on here, but it's definitely there. Her eyes are pretty bright. I'm not really sure of the color, maybe gray. And then again, just all along her back and along her tail is just everywhere is just kind of chaos. Very excited about Nadia, super hoping that she's something special. And there right there is something I meant to talk about. You can see her shaking. I'm not just sure if that's because she was a runt, meaning that I don't think that she absorbed her yolk, or if she actually has some sort of issue. As far as I've seen her slithering around, watching her, making sure that she eating and everything, she hasn't seemed to have any sort of wobble, but every once in a while she'll do this shaking thing, and that might just be because she's actually clenching so hard on her muscles, but only time will tell. You're all right. Yeah. And again, this is just how I've kind of been showing them that, you know, that the touching stress isn't a bad stress. It's not gonna actually kill you, and that's what they're worried about, is getting killed. And here's a look at her other side. And I know I'm giving her a bit of about twice as long as the other snakes. That's just because I do think that there's something special going on here, if it's of course not classic jungle, which people don't think it is. So that's very exciting, isn't it, Nadia? She's just like, no, get me back in my hide so I can sulk in the darkness. Now, again, I won't be able to show you female 2. Again, she just ate, so, which is awesome. Everybody's on food now, I think, knock on wood, 2 times in a row for her. But she does have a picture up on our website and a very cool photo. If you haven't seen our original African import video where we unbox all these guys, show you how we made sure that they didn't have any external parasites or weren't giving any of our snakes anything bad. And the reason that we're doing this, please go check out the link in the description. And actually the thumbnail to that video is female 2. Female 2 does need a name, so if you guys would please give her a little bit of a name suggestion, just think about her name for a while, I would really appreciate that. She has a lot of floating pattern, similar to, let's see if I can, right here, on Nadia, but that goes all the way around her, on her neck, everywhere. And then the only other thing I want to tell you guys is that, you're okay, Nadia, is that I think I will be doing a video very shortly on how to make a light box like this, and it does not work as amazing as it does for videos, as it does for photos, I should say. But it served its purpose today since I have basically no lights in this dark, spooky house. But yeah, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, thank you so much if you have watched this entire video, and I want to repeat that there will be something insanely incredible coming. Insanely incredible! In just a couple days. I will be posting a spoiler photo, I believe I will, if my schedule allows me to, very soon, so please check out our Facebook page, like it, and make sure to keep looking on it, because there will be something, again, insanely amazing. I'm not exaggerating. As far as pairings go, we have our Super Pastel dropping her eggs any second now. They're very close to her cloaca. She was bred with a Mahogany and the Hurricane. And let's see, I believe the Hurricane is locked up right now with the Yellow Belly and is locking again with a different secret project. So we have a ton going on right now for a small-time breeder hobbyist. Very exciting stuff, and that's just the pairings that I'm going to release right now. We have about 4 more that are going on at this second. So, but thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, any concerns, anything at all, please hit me up here or on Facebook. I don't really check my Instagram messages or get notified for them or by them by some reason, but please let me know. And we should have some available snakes pretty soon here once I make sure that they're all eating and doing well. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.